So the next one, I will show you how to do the scaffolding work, which is to insert some uh, tagging and then measuring expression and then check the total. So when you have the total uh, matched to the original data, then we are done with this step. So let me go to the go to the uh, guideline here. So basically, this will be the guideline for whenever I start a new project, I will have some kind of like establishing measures and everything in here, and then you just follow the document. You don't have to think about the steps and then the expression again. So let me go to the first expression here, which is to make the tagging version of the POS data, and then I will go back to Power BI here, modeling new table, and then I will um, make copy this one to make the table inside here. You see here the name here I use, which is the X1, but then in here I have the B1 only, so I change this one to B1 POS, and then it will give me the values. So these are the tagging values from the different table, which I don't have at the moment. So I will the easiest way is just to disable this one, and then later you can bring it back. Okay, so even when you have the incomplete formula, but then you can still use it. It's just because you don't have enough columns. Okay, so let me show you what it does here in data. So you have two tables. The first one is the original table here. We imported, and the second one is the derived table or the tag table in this case. And then you can see here until this one, and then in here you have one more column, which is the overall column. So later if you add more column, it will appear toward the end as well. So let me add one more column and then show you. So I will add the dummy value in here, right? 1 2 3 4, and then you can see more columns. So this is the original, and then this is the new table, derived table. Okay, so let me delete this one, and then for now we don't need to use this. Okay, so the current the next one I use, I do the same thing for the COA table. So I will go to the new table here, and then I will make copy the thing over. So again, this one, because the COA here I name it X2, but in here I have B2, so I just change it to B2, and then done. Okay, so this is before. We have until tag code and tag full, and this is after. So we have more thing on view TTP and then P2P. Okay, so let me show you the difference between those two. So if I sort this one uh, by this column, you can see these are the column for the top 10 and Pareto view. So in the Pareto view, we only need to consider the contribution, the original value, which is the COGS and the sale, and then the contribution rate, which is like COGS CT and then sales CT here. So the main four account. So in this view, um, you can see we only focus on we don't care about the contribution and then running total, but then we only focus on the current year and the last year. So you can see here COGS of the COGS, the volume, and then the last year version of it. So volume and then the last compared to the last year compared to the same period last year. So that's what you do in this view. So this uh, so after this you have 4 tables, but actually this one is not used anymore. We only use these two. So let me remove this one by rename it to X and unused. So later you know that this one is not using, you don't touch it. So X2 unused. Okay, so now you know. If you want to, you can let me switch to the reporting mode, and then you can hide this table as well. So you don't see them in the reporting mode, but then in the data mode, you can still see here with the hidden symbol in the. Okay, so this one is called the tagging phase, and then by tagging I mean we add more columns or more tagging columns in the original table. So in here we have one more column, and then this in here we have 2 more. Okay, so if you start to recognize the revenue from the tagging table here, you can see something uh, like this. Okay, so this is a revenue. Uh, and then by region. And let me switch this one to the metric mode so that you have the pivot table like you do in Excel. So this is the pivot table in Power BI, and then you have by region, by uh, FY, and then by revenue. Okay, so this is one way to do it. And then you can, let me collapse this one to see the table. And you can click on the revenue table and format it by by 1000 group, and then reduce the number of decimal place into 1. Okay, so this is the way you do it, uh, the with the raw column. But normally this one is not what we do in revenue recognition. Normally we will write the top line or the top line expression like this. So let me copy this one over here. The first one is the sale. Right click on this table, or you can choose the new measure here, also the same thing. So right click and new measure, and then copy over, and then you have one. Second thing, COGS, also same thing, copy over. So this, if you have the guide document already, then this one is very useful because you don't have to think about how to recognize revenue, how to recognize GP anymore. So you only have to copy over and then check GPM and check, and then a volume and check. And then the last one is the ASP, and then check. Okay, so you can see here after I copy and paste a lot, like 6 times, then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 measure here. So the difference between this one and this one, this one is a raw revenue. So I actually click on the revenue and I sum the revenue in here. But this one is the measure. So I sum the revenue together and I divide by 3. So by 1000. So if you want to divide by 1 million, you can also do that as well. So 1E6 will be 1 million, and 1E9 will be 1 billion. Okay, so that's the difference. And then let me copy this one here, line for line, and then I replace the revenue in here, and then you can see the difference. There you go. So now you have 2 tables. This one depends on the raw revenue column. This one depends on the sales measures. And then you can see the different in terms of numbers. You can see this one is a little bit shorter for you to read. And then also the number will be smaller as well. So it's very neat for you to uh, to to keep track of the numbers. So you only important figures, then you focus on the important figures. Okay, so the next one I will do the same thing, but I will do the COGS, GP, GPM, volume, and then ASP. So basically I add everything inside this view. But then you see this one is very ugly, right? It's very difficult to read this kind of thing. So there is a simple trick for that, which is go to the visualization here and then the format, and then go to the visualization and then choose the option to switch this one. Okay, so now you can see actually I have the overall and then have the breakdown by region. So if you want to see the overall picture without the region, you remove the region here, and then you can see this is the scaffolding check for us uh, to check everything. So scaffolding check for all numbers in this uh, this workbook. Okay, so this is a checkpoint for everything. The first thing is if you derive any new number, for example, later you derive the sale year-on-year sale, derive the last 12 months sales or anything else, you have to check back to this number. You cannot stay away from this. That's the first thing. The second thing is you have to use this cell number to check back to your source data. So your AFS, your IM, and everything else, you have to check this number again. So if there's something wrong with this number, then you have to see which source is wrong, or both of them wrong. Okay, so just this is the checkpoint. You don't need to rename the account here because later we will have this table for the purpose. This table will give us the naming. Let me show you the table. Okay, so the table here, whatever you do in this cell will be displayed like this, and then GP margin will be displayed like this. So you don't need to rename this formula in short. Okay, so until here, we have the total, and then we have the key measure, base measure already to check again the different sources, and then we can close the scaffolding uh, uh, stage as of now, and then we move to the next step, next stage.